Imagine a baby, barely a year old, his eyes wide with innocence. Now picture this child subjected to a terrifying experiment, his fear meticulously crafted by the very people meant to nurture him. This is the chilling tale of little Albert, an experiment that continues to haunt the halls of psychology. The year was 1920. Behaviorism was gaining traction. At Johns Hopkins University, John B. Watson and Rosalie Rayner embarked on an experiment that would forever alter our understanding of fear. Their subject, an unsuspecting infant known only as Albert B., forever immortalized in scientific literature as Little Albert. This seemingly simple experiment, designed to elicit a conditioned fear response in a young child, would become a cornerstone of behavioral psychology. Little Albert, just 9 months old, was chosen for his remarkably calm demeanor. Described as stolid and unemotional, Albert rarely cried, making him an ideal candidate. Oblivious to the experiment's true nature, Albert was brought to a seemingly safe playroom. The experiment began innocently. Albert reached out to touch the furry white rat. Suddenly, a loud, jarring sound pierced the air, startling Albert. The sound induced fear, causing him to recoil in terror. Over the next several weeks, Watson and Rayner repeatedly paired the rat with the startling sound. Each time Albert reached for the rat, the hammer would clang, sending shockwaves of fear through his small body. Gradually, Albert's natural curiosity morphed into abject terror. The once innocuous white rat had become, in his mind, inextricably linked with the fear-inducing noise. This, Watson believed, was evidence of his theory, that emotional responses, even complex ones like fear, could be learned. But Watson's experiment went further, venturing into the realm of generalization. Having successfully conditioned Albert to fear the rat, they introduced other furry objects, a rabbit, a dog, a fur coat, even a Santa Claus mask with a cotton ball beard. To their satisfaction, Albert's fear, like an uncontrollable wildfire, spread to encompass these objects as well. He had developed a phobia, not just of white rats, but of anything that resembled his furry tormentor. The Little Albert experiment, while groundbreaking in its exploration of conditioned fear, left an indelible stain on the history of psychology. The ethical implications of the experiment, particularly the infliction of psychological distress on a helpless child, sparked outrage and ignited a debate that continues to this day. Critics argue that Watson and Rayner violated the fundamental principles of research ethics, prioritizing their scientific curiosity over the well-being of their subject. Little Albert, unable to understand the nature of the experiment or to consent to his participation, was subjected to repeated trauma, his fear amplified with each clang of the hammer. Furthermore, the experiment lacked any attempt at deconditioning, leaving Albert with a newly acquired phobia. Whether this phobia persisted throughout his life remains a subject of debate, as attempts to track down Albert's true identity and post-experiment life have proven inconclusive. Nevertheless, the ethical lapse remains, a stark reminder of the potential for harm when scientific ambition overshadows human compassion. The Little Albert experiment, despite its ethical shortcomings, cast a long shadow on the field of psychology. It provided compelling evidence for the principles of classical conditioning, demonstrating the power of association in shaping emotional responses. Watson's work paved the way for the development of behavioral therapies, which continue to be used today in the treatment of phobias, anxiety disorders, and PTSD. However, the experiment's legacy is not solely defined by its scientific contributions. It serves as a constant reminder of the ethical responsibility inherent in psychological research, urging researchers to prioritize the well-being of their subjects above all else. The spectre of Little Albert continues to haunt psychology textbooks and university classrooms, prompting discussions about informed consent, the potential for harm in research, and the long-term consequences of psychological manipulation. It serves as a cautionary tale, a stark reminder of the ethical tightrope that researchers must navigate in their quest to unravel the complexities of the human mind. The ethical landscape of psychological research has undergone a seismic shift since the days of the Little Albert experiment. Modern ethical guidelines, developed in response to past transgressions, prioritize the protection of research participants, ensuring their physical, psychological, and emotional well-being throughout the research process. Informed consent, a cornerstone of modern research ethics, mandates that participants must be fully informed about the nature of the research, its potential risks and benefits, and their right to withdraw from the study at any time, without penalty. This ensures that participation is voluntary and based on a clear understanding of the research's implications. Moreover, researchers are obligated to minimize any potential harm to participants, both during and after the study. This includes psychological harm, such as anxiety, stress, or emotional distress. If any harm does occur, researchers are required to provide appropriate debriefing and support to mitigate any lasting negative effects. Informed consent is not merely a formality, it's the bedrock upon which ethical research is built. Participants must be fully informed about the purpose of the research, the procedures involved, and any potential risks or benefits. This information must be presented in a clear, concise, and easily understandable manner, using language appropriate to the participants' age, education, and cultural background. Researchers must ensure that participants comprehend the information provided and have ample opportunity to ask questions and receive satisfactory answers before consenting to participate. Coercion, undue influence, and manipulation are strictly prohibited. For participants who lack the capacity to provide informed consent, such as children or individuals with cognitive impairments, consent must be obtained from a legal guardian or authorized representative. Even in these cases, the researcher must still obtain assent from the participant, meaning the participant must agree to participate to the best of their ability. To safeguard the ethical integrity of research involving human subjects, most research institutions have established institutional review boards, IRBs. These independent committees, composed of researchers, ethicists, and community members, review research proposals to assess their ethical acceptability. IRBs scrutinize research designs, recruitment procedures, informed consent processes, and data analysis plans to ensure that they adhere to established ethical guidelines. They also monitor ongoing research projects, ensuring that researchers are upholding ethical standards and protecting the well-being of participants. The IRB's role is crucial in preventing ethical transgressions and ensuring that research is conducted in a responsible and ethical manner. By providing an independent and objective assessment of research proposals, IRBs help to mitigate risks to participants, promote ethical research practices, and maintain public trust in the research enterprise. The chilling tale of little Albert serves as a stark reminder of the ethical responsibility in psychological research. While the experiment advanced our understanding of fear conditioning, it did so at the expense of a vulnerable child. Modern ethical guidelines prioritize the protection of research participants, ensuring their well-being. Informed consent mandates that participants must be fully informed about the research and their right to withdraw. By embracing ethical research practices, we can unlock the mysteries of the human mind while safeguarding participants.